All right, live on YouTube. Still learning the YouTube. Trying to get a better angle for both. Sorry to move you around. Live on Facebook. And now you're kind of both in front of me, so hopefully I can see you a little bit better. Give people a moment to tune in. Oh gosh, my nails are just great today. My name is Amber, also known as the West Coast Medium. Yeah, I'm a medium, psychic, a medical intuitive, an empath, and a healer. And I haven't been live, I think, for a week, maybe-ish. I feel like we've kind of settled into more of a status quo. So I don't feel this burning need to go live as much, and neither do my guides. I think most people, we're not happy about our situation, but I think we're falling into more of a comfort zone, if you will. Yeah, so I'm trying out the YouTube again. Oh, we're wearing almost the same shirt. And I'm obviously live on Facebook as well. Oh, maybe I should have looked at myself a little bit more. Hello, everybody. All the people saying hi. So yeah, if you haven't watched me before, that's who I am. I live on Vancouver Island, and I think we're, out of the last week, we've had quite a few days with no new cases, which I think is very exciting for all of us here. I hope you all are faring well and not stressing too much. I think when the weather shifts like this, life is a bit harder. If that makes sense. It's kind of, I don't know how or why, but you feel a little more trapped in your house, I guess, because you can't be like, we walk 5 kilometers a day, and when it's pouring rain, it's not so fun to walk 5 kilometers a day as it is when it's nice. Hi, Lori. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Connie. Hi, Kathy. Hey, hi, Nadine. Hi, Gail. Yeah, so I don't know, it changes it. Although I said to my sister this morning that this is mean, but I kind of hope it keeps raining this weekend to keep all the campers at home and all the people out gathering in crowds at home. I don't know if you're in different countries or different provinces, you have different rules than us for sure. But we are in phase 1 of reopening, and we are moving into phase 2 after this weekend, but they announced it last week, and I think a lot of people kind of thought, oh, they announced phase 2, that means we are in phase 2. And so, oh yeah, my show that had to be canceled. Yeah, here, I'm gonna pause these from moving. And so a lot of people took that to mean that it's phase 2 now, and started getting together again, started doing things maybe they shouldn't have been doing, started having gatherings and that sort of stuff. I live on an island, and you have to take a ferry to get here, and there's usually 2 ferry routes, and one of them is closed. And yesterday at like 8:30 in the morning, it was like a 3 or 4 sailing wait of people coming here for the long weekend, which sucks because we're doing so well and we've had so many days with no new cases. And I know that this is going to change it, but it's kind of it's like a double-edged sword, Do we completely cut ourselves off from the rest of the world to keep our little pockets safe and wait for a vaccine? Or do we just continuously, slowly allow people to get sick, utilize medical care as needed in a bit of a slower fashion so that our hospitals and our medical systems can handle it? It's like, well, kind of half a dozen in one, 6 in the other. Which one is the worst? As long as it's not us getting sick, then I guess everybody can do what they want. But my personal choice is still to stay at home with my kids. My kids are also staying at home. My son had his first social distance visit on the sidewalk with his friends that he usually hangs out with every day up the road. Probably closer to 10 feet away, sat and had a chat when it was nice out last week. But my daughter doesn't see anybody because she is more compromised. So what are you all doing for the long weekend? Are you going out and seeing people? Are you not? Or sort of what's the plan there? I am live on YouTube, right? I can't really, oh, there are comments. Hello. Let's see. Yeah, my show was scheduled for yesterday if it hadn't been canceled. So that part sucks, but I have finally gotten in touch with everybody who had bought tickets. Yeah, so it does suck, but you know what? It's a blessing in disguise that I'm able to do that, and that it didn't financially destroy me to have to cancel. So that's good. Hello, everybody. When will you open up for online sessions? Honestly, and people aren't going to like this, but normally when my kids are home in the summer, I don't work. I still do occasional live videos, but I don't do private readings. I do them normally when my kids are in school. So if my kids are in school, not in school, this next 2 months and then through the summer, I probably won't be taking private clients until September. My thing about it is I don't like sort of, for these videos I do it, but I don't like shoving my kids in the basement and leaving them there, forcing them downstairs while I do private readings. I also don't like channeling when my kids are in the house. So it's one thing to do these videos where I'm speaking to all of you and just my guides are here. But when I'm channeling actual spirit, dead people, it can tend to make my kids a little bit anxious. If, normally I work. During the day, I do really good cleanses. And by the time they get home, everything is cleansed and really wonderful. It's not the same when they're in the house. I don't channel with other people's kids around. I won't do readings for children. And it's a personal choice I make that I don't do it around my children. So probably I won't be taking private clients until September. The one thing I am still doing, albeit a little bit slowly, I feel like I've gotten through quite a few, but I'm doing the $25 question option. I seem to be able to do 4 or 5 every 5-ish days. So I'm working my way through the comments there. I think I've gotten through about half of them. Hope you guys all stay safe, but I think people should stay home too. I agree. Oh, good. I love seeing all the staying home people. We're going to visit our friends on the deck outside. Yeah, I've had one socially distanced visit on my friend's front lawn. We were probably closer to 12 feet away because I'm super paranoid. My kids didn't come or anything. It was just me and my own friend that lives across the street. So I've had one visit. We're visiting with family, just core family. Yeah, see, I have my sister here, but she works at the hospital. I've seen my other sister once in her front yard dropping something off. And my parents obviously are aging and are isolating on a much smaller island than the one I'm on. So family's not really an option for me. Happy in my bubble. Home and beach, maybe. They just opened up Nova Scotia today. Staying home and watching movies, good plan. I went to have my oil changed in my vehicle yesterday at a drive-through place and stayed in the vehicle. Took 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, see, some of the stuff you still have to do. I would love to do the $25 question. How do you do it? The pinned post at the top of my page is all the directions for that. Yeah, Karen. So go to the pinned post at the top of the page. There's a post all about that option. Staying home, glad it's raining to help maybe keep more people home as well. Me too. Somebody just said something. I have to go back and forth still. We're at the lake, but it's just the two of us in our seasonal site. That's good. Staying home. Immediate family, it's been so hard, but keeping my baby safe is top priority. Yes, me too. If I didn't have a child who was compromised, honestly, I can't really put myself in those shoes and say what I would do. I'm not sure what I would do. I would think I'd probably still isolate fairly significantly. But until I'm in somebody else's shoes, I can't really say what I would do. Do you see fire issues for BC, especially the island? I don't think they'll be as bad as they have been the last couple of years. Are we still getting a second wave? I don't like to tune that far ahead, Kayla. I've really avoided that topic all along because I think I would get depressed if they told me we were. All I focus on is that they've told me numerous times, my guides, when I say they, that it will be gone as fast as it came. So that's my focus. I don't want to think about second wave and this going on forever and ever because my mental health can't handle that right now. It's been beautiful weather here in northern Florida the past few weeks, enjoying the hammock outside. Of course, I'm on 10 acres, so I'm isolated. Oh, that's so nice. What do you think about schools opening up June 1st in BC? I am divided on this because I get there's a lot of parents that have to work and it has been so hard for them to have kids at home and be scrambling and all that sort of stuff. But my kids will not be going to school. It's not the same as school, like here at least. My kid age, they're going 1 day a week, maybe. So no, my kids won't be going, but I understand there's people that are going crazy. There's people that have to work that really need them in school. I might feel differently if we were in January right now, but because they're opening June 1st for 3 weeks, I just don't see the point of that exposure. Yes, I get it for essential workers' kids. I get it for people who have to work because their jobs are going back and they have no choice. But one day a week, it doesn't make a difference to me, so my kids won't be going. Especially since it's right after this long weekend where there's so many people traveling to different communities that, weren't here before. It's so frustrating because I do think our wonderful streak of no cases is going to very quickly go away. I'm staying home. I live in New York and I have an autoimmune disease. Oh, Robin, that must be really hard in New York. I couldn't even imagine. I went to New York for the very first time about 1.5 years ago, and it was amazing. I can't imagine it like empty ghost town. Not sending my kids, no. Do you see this virus as an opportunity for our spiritual evolution? Yes, in combination with other things. So definitely it's helping us energetically move forward, come together for like sort of common need. There hasn't been something in a long time that has brought the world together as a whole. Of course, there's a few countries that are sort of doing their own thing, but pretty much most countries are working together to prevent this getting worse and working together in support and starting to change their value system sort of as a whole across the world. You have nothing to do but think when you're stuck in your house for months on end. And so, yes, it's definitely helping our spiritual evolution. There's a few people that have said this is going to change everything and the world's going to blah, blah, blah. No, 80% of people will go right back to doing what they were doing before this, but that 20% that don't, that do make some concrete changes, will help the energetic growth or the energetic sort of evolution, if you will, of humanity. Yes, I love where I live. I have bird feeders and birds to watch and deer. My neighbors keep their horses on my pasture now that I don't have horses. Oh, that's so nice. We had a deer just out the window a few minutes ago. I'm the same. I think it's not worth the risk, especially because we will be right at 2 weeks after this long weekend. The incubation period will be ripe when they go back to school. Yes, it will. Do they still say that you will be able to have your Christmas? That would rule out the second wave the news is saying will happen in the fall. As of yet, I can still see my Christmas. So I hope that means that that's okay. Somebody sent me or tagged me in a thing on Facebook today saying, well, summer is canceled, so you might as well just put up your Christmas tree now. And I actually said that the other day. Is our world feeling a bit better now, or is it still mad at us? It's not necessarily mad at us. It's just taking control of something we've allowed to get out of control. We've allowed ourselves to take and take and take and take from a planet that doesn't have a lot to give us at the moment. And so it took away that choice. Are you doing readings again? If not, do you know when you will? Online readings is what I'm asking about. I answered that about 5 minutes ago. So when I'm done, just go back and watch. I am okay with staying at home as I enjoy my quilting. So this is not much different than what I am used to, but I really miss my kids and grandkids as we usually get to see them every few months. Yeah, that part sucks. I miss hanging out with people for sure. I wish I had a hobby. I don't really have a hobby. Nobody's ever been able to teach me to knit. I've always wanted to learn because I'm left-handed. I have a thing of cross stitch. I've never actually learned how to do it. Is that sad? I don't really have a hobby. I need a hobby. Christmas in July. I'm feeling nervous about sending my children to school. Shaylu, where are you? Do you have to send them? Hang on, I just have to. YouTube's comments don't just stay on here. We're at the late, but I tried messenger chat today with my friend, a frontline worker. It was great. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I have been doing that as well. I don't have one either, so I'm going to say definitely not sad. Does the cleansing prayer work if you're praying for someone else? Yes, it does. During COVID, I watched the Netflix TV series Frequency. If you have watched it, what's your thoughts? I have not. How are you doing with your husband working away? My husband is due to go back away to work in a few more weeks, and I'm a touch nervous to be the only parent at home again during this. So thankfully, he was able to come home when crap hit the fan. We have not seen Mike, who's my husband, my kid's dad, since March 2nd. Wow, that's a long time, 2.5 months. And we're doing fine. Honestly, it's hard. I'm not going to say it's not hard. But he has worked on the road since my kids were not even, Wyatt wasn't even 1. I think he was 8 or 10 months old. And Grace was 2.5. And so, or 2.5, yeah. We're super, super used to it. The first 3 years he worked away, he was gone this long all the time. It's only been in the last kind of 5 or 6 years that he does like 3 weeks away, a week home. So yeah, we're doing fine. And honestly, it means we are not completely destitute. We would be if he wasn't able to be gone. We've kind of set July as our plan. If nothing's changed and everything's still the way it is, he might still come home in July and just stay in the basement, but at least, be able to visit us on the lawn and stuff. More for the kids, him and I can make it work, but it is hard on the kids. I'm hoping to self-isolate on our sailboat this summer. Ooh, fancy. We worried about tourists. We worried about the weather and its attack on the world. We never thought a virus would send the world into such a tailspin. Well, there were some people that thought it would be a virus, but most people, think it's going to be other people that cause the problem. This really, I think, shows us, in a way, how little control we have as humans to do whatever the hell we want when we want because we want to do it. Very quickly, our world can take that away from us. I wonder if YouTube has some left-handed tutorials for you. Probably does. I learned how to French braid watching a left-handed tutorial on YouTube. What are your thoughts on RMTs, physios and hairdressers opening? I think for everything it's too soon. Honestly, I think, and my guides think, we have to wait. Every area where COVID is, which is every area, you need to go 3 weeks with no new cases. 3 full weeks with no new cases, and then think of reopening. We just don't have that. We have a few days with no new cases, 3 or 4, I think, 5, I don't know. You need 3 full weeks before opening anything. Can you send Gail to my dad at Langley Lodge? 36 cases with 5 deaths. Oh, that's awful. And yes, I can. I'm left-handed. I can teach you to knit. Yeah, I want to make, so my husband's mother passed away in 2011 from cancer, and she used to make me dishcloths. Is that knitting or is that crocheting? So these dishcloths, I love them. I don't like any other kind of dishcloth. I like these little knitted or crocheted dishcloths. And all of mine now, they used to all be funky colors. They're literally all now gray because they've been washed so many times. When they come out of the dryer, they're kind of crispy and they get stinky within 24 hours of using them. But I love them so much. I need to learn how to make more and I don't know how to make them. So if any of you know how to make dishcloths, teach me. I feel for you not being able to see your hubby. Yeah, it sucks, but we FaceTime at dinner every night. He has dinner with us. The kids FaceTime. Grace has a phone now, so she can text him whenever she wants. And the kids and I, we're doing just fine. My kids are super adaptable, amazing kids. And so, yeah, we're good. Other people have it a lot worse than us. Those dishcloths are easy to make. I don't knit, but I can make those. Oh, well, then I need to learn how. How many? Oh, so there's 26 watching on YouTube. So I guess, do some people prefer the YouTube platform over the Facebook platform? Or are you just on YouTube because you saw me there and were like, hey, I'm going to watch this? Do you have any advice for teachers who have to go back to work feeling stressed about it? Yeah, I don't know if I have advice. I have sympathy. I have empathy. And you can ask Gail to come and take some of that fear away, but it's not a job I would want right now at all. Jessica, you like YouTube better? I love cross-stitching. Just made a birthday card for my 16-year-old granddaughter, Grace. I hope she will treasure it. Stitched with much love. Oh, yeah, my friend made me a picture, a Christmas scene picture for Christmas. Love it. Where are we at in the numbers of infected in the world right now? Geez, I don't even know. I don't even remember what they said last time. Really? I don't think that's accurate. So they're talking infected, including symptomatic and non-symptomatic. They say we're above 500 million now. I don't remember what they said last time, so I don't know if that's a lot or a little compared to then. I got a notification you were going live on YouTube. Finally, so awesome. Yay! On YouTube, the sound is much better. You get notifications on your home screen, so that's why you're here. Okay, so I I was right, and the people that told me to were right. Oh, sorry, I was reading that at the same time. You will get notifications on YouTube, whereas the algorithms on Facebook often will shut notifications off for you. Will Canada be the first for a vaccine? I would love that. No. Oh, really? Ugh, sometimes I don't like their answers. Some cotton balls actually have directions on the back. Cotton balls? What? I got a notification. Okay. I think they said 350 million last time. Oh, okay, then that would make sense. Are hospitals really just overusing COVID-19 on death certificates when it's not the actual cause? No, they are not. After all of this, will you continue to update us occasionally on the world conditions and how we can contribute in the best way possible? Look forward to your weekly updates. Thank you. Yes, I will. I've done live videos all along. Sometimes I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes it's like once a week. Sometimes it's once a month. Sometimes it's every few days. For a while there, I was going live every Sunday. So I've always done live videos since 2017. I just am doing them more often right now because I get more requests, and because I'm not offering other services, no private readings, no live events, I thought this was a good alternative. But at some point, I do have to actually go back to work so I can make money again, so that we can have all the things we need to have and pay for all the kids' activities. And usually when I'm working full-time, doing readings, full-time for me is 3 days a week, I don't do videos as often. Don't feel bad about not having a hobby, as I didn't either, but I really enjoy it now that I have time since retired. I never had the time before as I was too involved with work and family. Yeah, see, I have friends though that have family and all that sort of stuff, and they have hobbies, so maybe it's something I'll have to work on. Hopefully people will appreciate their freedom more. You know, that word has come up a lot since this whole, oh, Gail's gonna go on a thing. I can feel it, I can feel her coming. Since this whole thing started. There's this new idea that we are having our freedoms stolen. We're having our freedoms taken away. We're being stifled. We're being controlled. We're being told what to do. We're not really. We can make the choice to go out and risk dying. The governments of the world did not all get together and go, oh, you know what? Let's all conspire and let's take away everybody's freedoms collectively so that we can own everything and we can control everything everybody does. No, the economy's crashing. Governments are going into huge deficits in order to facilitate keeping people at home to try and keep the people in their country alive. So the whole freedom thing, I think, Jessica, that's not true. Jessica says, when people complain about that, they're equating like we're having our freedom stolen to I'm not allowed to do what I want, and so I'm having a toddler temper tantrum. Doing what you want all of the time is not freedom. Having the freedom to feel and think the way you want to, that's freedom. And we have that here. Maybe not in every country, but here we do. That is freedom. I can get on here and I can talk about COVID. I can talk about all those things, and I'm not being censored. I'm not being thrown in jail for having these views. I have complete freedom. If I want, I can go in public, I can go walk around and I won't be punished for it. I have freedom. I also have the freedom to stay home, which is a blessing because there are some countries that aren't making that choice. So nobody is having their freedom stolen, but I do think it's making people realize how truly free we actually are, the fact that we can make these choices. So all the people that say, oh, I have a right to do what I want, and I have a right to this, and I have a right to that. Yeah, you also have a right to die, right? So take your pick. You be as free as you want. Go out and do whatever you want. But when you are dying and nobody wants to come near you to help you, and our medical system is screwed because everybody needed to be free, I'm not necessarily talking about here because we're not doing too bad, then where's your freedom at? You have a whole lot of freedom when you get to the other side. Do you think 50 plus gatherings will be allowed in the fall? I don't. That's iffy. We had about a 20% chance there, which is not a huge chance. Oh, that makes sense to go full 3 weeks with no new cases. Yeah, if any province, any country, state, whatever, goes a full 3 weeks with absolutely no cases and is still restricting border crossings, then open right on back up. Sorry. I never got a YouTube notification. I just happened to be on here. How do I make it come up on my home screen? I think you have to, okay, YouTube's different. You have to subscribe and then you have to hit the little bell icon. I only know this because I've heard other YouTuber people say it, to turn on notifications. Do your guides have a timeline on the vaccine or maybe treatment? Sorry if already mentioned. There are some better treatments. That's why our rate of death is going on. So people have figured out things that are working even if they're not publicly saying it. As far as vaccine, I hope a year is more than likely 6 months, maybe a little bit less. I would prefer a year. I'd feel more comfortable getting it if it was a year. I know people don't like that. Hi, Mom. What are your thoughts on ordering takeout? You know what? In the beginning, I was like, absolutely not. Because the town I'm in, or the island I'm on, we've actually had no new cases for a bit. And we only actually have had altogether 100 and something on the island. I've had takeout twice in the last 2 weeks. I definitely don't let my kids touch it. Like, I don't let them touch any of the containers. I get it in the house, Lysol, everything, get it on plates and allow them to eat it that way. But I think with caution, it's like everything else. I go grocery shopping every 3 weeks. I definitely wouldn't do it every day. That's a big risk. I think everybody just needs to understand that it's a risk every time you do it. But there is, again, our freedom. I thought to myself yesterday, I missed the West Coast. Well, here is West Coast medium. Is that close enough? How are the orange guys' chances of re-election looking? Sad but true, they're still at about 35-40%. I prefer long too. I used to work in pharmaceutical research and the speed of this vaccine scares me. That's why I asked. Yeah, I would prefer 2 years. I know the world doesn't want that, but 2 years of trials is not a long time in the world of medical research. So I would actually prefer, 2 years. I don't see that happening, but yeah. How is your friend with COVID doing? Completely better. No other side effects, totally better. I meant as in you. Oh, thanks. Okay. Tensions between China and the rest of the world are very strained at present due to the call for a full inquiry into the WHO and the origins and reasons of the outbreak in Wuhan, as well as China's questionable infections and death numbers. China has not responded well to this. Do you see countries moving away from or being forced to drastically reduce trade and ties with China in the future? You know what? That's actually one of the little sort of lessons behind this is countries becoming more self-sufficient again. A lot of countries, including Canada, a lot of our import comes from China, and that's not good for us as a country. It's better that we produce here. Some stuff gets produced here, shipped there to be manufactured, and then sent back at cost. So I think it's good. It maybe not for China, but good for the rest of the world if we stop relying on them so much. And this is the perfect time for that. I don't have anything against China. I lived in Taiwan for 2 years. I just think countries do need to become more self-sufficient, and this is helping that. Oh, you'll make me dishcloths. That's so nice. When all this is over, will you teach me how to make them myself? They were right. YouTube sounds and looks better. Yay, do I look better? I feel like when I look in this camera, I am really close up, and when I look at this one, I look more tanned and fancy. Is that a thing? I miss sending hearts when I like your answers, so hearts. Oh, thanks. I'm gonna sit with my leg crossed. Off topic, but wondering about twins, triplets, etc. Are those written in your life plan? Do they have different spirit guides than one another? Different spirit guides, yes, and everything that happens is written into your life plan. Oh, thanks. Dishcloths you can mail me. That would be amazing. I miss my dishcloths. And for the first probably 5 years, I would just take out a couple a year because I have a drawer in an old dresser that has stuff from her in it that she made, and they smell like her. And that's all gone now. Now I just have old, great, crispy cloths. Hope you're doing well. It's been a rough 12 days for my family. Too much sadness. Thank you again for your calmness and kindness. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's Jessica. She likes to sing. So easy. Can knit or crochet. See, I just got to learn to do it. Oh, that's great. Technology is so helpful right now. Imagine how things were for people in the 1900s. Yeah, no. What do you think about Neuralink by Elon Musk? Implantable brain machinery to assist with health problems. It's going to be a long time before that comes to fruition, so meh. Amber, you need to ask me for some. I have both knitted and crocheted dishcloths. Well, why don't I have them? Have you not seen my crusty cloths, Mom? Um, you look younger. Yes. Oh, then everybody should go to YouTube. Apparently, I look younger on YouTube. So head over there. uh, looks more real and clear on YouTube. Tanned and fancy, yes. How's it looking for opening up Canada-US border? Will JT hold firm and keep it closed? I hope he'll hold firm. I do think he may cave under pressure before we're technically ready. But I do hope he holds firm just because, unfortunately, the States is really not doing well managing COVID at the moment. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gotta touch my face. Sorry, guys. Don't get mad at me. Ladysmith Urgent Care, they sell them. I got a notification on YouTube and not Facebook, but you need a channel to comment to you on that platform. So that's the shits. I think, Roxanne, you don't need a channel. You need to like sign up for the chat or something. Can you do future predictions and readings, or is nothing in our futures concrete due to free will? I can. For the future, often they won't give a concrete answer. They'll give you general direction, gentle guidance. But the whole yes, no thing, free will is too prevalent. Karen, at this point, I can imagine the orange one being reelected, too obviously incompetent, but I am worried that the presumptive Democratic candidate Joe Biden is not all there either. He keeps getting confused in interviews. What is the deal with him, and will someone else step up before November and put her or his hat in the ring for presidency? Yeah, it's kind of like, oh no, I just made my face really red. Who is the lesser of two evils? Not evils, I don't mean that like, but like, I don't know. Pick the best or the worst kind of thing. Joe Biden isn't completely there. Something's up with his mind. He often loses words and stuff like that. But anybody is better than who is there right now. He is a true, sucks, I feel bad saying this, but a true narcissist. Has a real inability to see anyone's needs or feelings but his own. And that is not a good way to run a country. Nothing wrong with touching your face when you're at home and have washed your hands. Yes, and I have washed my hands and I am at home. My daughter is going back to work at a hair salon in a mall on Tuesday and is apprehensive and anxious. I would be too. I wouldn't want to do that right now. Andrew Cuomo for president. Let's manifest that. Actually, yeah, I think he would do very good. What are the real numbers in China? Oh, twice the amount of the worst country. Will Canada produce more of its own products now? Yes. Like Mick Jagger says, you can't always get what you want. We're so blessed in this country with all the freedoms we have. Yes, we are. What is ADHD? Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. It's also a title a lot of people give to kids now because we don't like to have boundaries and rules and limitations with our children. We like to say yes to everything, and we don't tell them what to do. We ask them, and when you don't tell kids what to do, they start doing whatever they want. And I am not saying every person with ADHD is that. I'm saying probably about 40% don't actually have ADHD. They have unmanageable child syndrome, lack of boundary life. Sorry, I feel like an asshole. It's not me. It's Jessica. It's not me. Alberta opened gatherings of 50 yesterday. Wow, that's not good. We are so fortunate in Canada for all the financial support. I can't believe people are complaining it's not enough. Imagine if people had to rely on their savings to get through this. Most people don't have savings. I'm grateful. Yes, I agree. It is wonderful. I actually didn't apply for the CURB benefit, even though I do qualify for it, because we don't need it. And just because it's there for me, I definitely qualify. We are getting along just fine with just my husband's income, and we don't need the extra. And so I didn't apply for it because I think our government is going to have a really hard time after all of this. And you have to hit all notifications after you hit the bell. Oh, there you go over on YouTube. Sorry, I'm really behind on comments. I don't know how I got so far behind. Will kindergarten change back to half days in the fall? I heard it might. It might, and I think that would be a very good thing. Are they keeping the border closed with the US long enough? No. How concerned do we need to be about the Kawasaki-like illness in children on Vancouver Island? We need to be concerned everywhere because it is a complication of COVID that is happening in children. Anywhere children can get COVID, they can get the inflammatory condition that is following it for the children. It always makes my day to see you live. Oh, thanks, Kim. I'm opening my salon in Alberta next week. I'm feeling very nervous. Any advice from your guides? Yes, just try and go slow so that you're not risking cross-contamination. Do everything that you need to do to protect yourself. And if you feel like you're having a panic attack every single day, make the choice not to go. You've mentioned some relief in July. Will the US get relief in July, or will it be earlier later? No, I don't think they will. When I said that, I've only asked my direct area. They said in my direct area, May 27th, we will have some relief. But you know what? I think they said that as in now we have some relief, and it's going to kind of, that relief, that feeling good is going to peak on May 27th. And then I think we're going to have a rough time for a bit after this long weekend. I was just saying today, why do we purchase vegetables and meats and other foods outside of the country when farmers in the USA throw so much away? I know, I don't get it. Learn to crochet. If I can do it, anyone can. I'm not a Trump fan. However, he has always promoted the USA to be self-sufficient. Also, with more countries being self-sufficient, China will have less pollution. Very true. Mike, you're watching. Aren't you supposed to be working? Hey, Hubby, your wife is amazing. See there, listen to Kim. Mike, did you hear that? Did you hear that? I don't want to answer that question because I don't want to panic, Jenny. Will there be any outbreaks in schools in BC? Some things that I don't want to know. Do you see concern with the curb at a later date? I qualify and have been getting it, but I am afraid they may turn around and say it needs to be paid back. That is why I did not apply for it. One of the main reasons, because I know I would have to pay it back. My husband makes more money than would allow me to qualify for anything else. So that's one of the main reasons I didn't apply. And I think a lot of people will be told they have to pay it back. There's a lot of people on social assistance and on disability that applied for it. And the government, in the beginning, had a blanket approval position. So they approved every single person who applied, and then they're doing the paperwork later. So it's unfortunate, but a lot of people, yes, will have to pay it back. I don't know that you will, though, Shauna, because, yeah. Are you able to suggest some supports for managing anxiety? Yes, exposure therapy. Expose yourself to that which makes you the most anxious, and wait for that anxiety to go from a 10 to a 2. And then the next time you expose yourself, it might only start at a 9. Any idea when Canada will return to some kind of normal? I am sure you have already answered this. Honestly, this is our new normal for a bit. So I think just focus on making this your normal for now. What does our society hold with most people growing up without boundaries and instant gratification? Our society holds what it has right now: addiction, mental illness, entitlement, and general assholery. Thanks, Jessica. I like your word. General assholery. I think in a few videos, Jessica has kind of given lectures on how not to raise assholes. We're very good at raising them because we never want to hurt anybody's feelings. People use Sweden as an example of how a lockdown wasn't needed, as they aren't doing that bad compared to their neighbors in Europe. Thoughts? They're a healthier population as a whole, and they're not doing as good as they say they're doing. What's making me mad about the government benefit is that people who are asked to go back to work are refusing because they get more money from the government. Yes, those people will also have to pay it back. They are putting out more guidelines now about if it was a voluntary choice, like if there was work available to you and you chose a voluntary layoff or quitting for safety reasons, unless you have a compromised person in your family or somebody you're caring for, you will have to pay it back. Laura says, can you explain free will a bit more? You had said that you plan your beginning and end, but our end could change if we don't social distance and then could get sick and die. No, if that's your end, that's your end. It can't change. If you had planned to die from COVID, you're going to die from it no matter what. Seems there are many associated complications with COVID. Are we going to continue to see more? Yes. Is there any chance schools won't open on June 1st, or is it 100%? Honestly, I think one of the main reasons that they decided to open then is because we won't see the full extent of what's going to happen after this long weekend. So unless everything comes crashing down and thousands of people get sick, it's going to open. There's no such thing as free money. Very true. Oh my God, so many people receive money here in the USA and just used it like free money. Yeah, it sucks. When do you see relief in Alberta? There's still some relief. June, end of June, beginning of July-ish. Assholery, LOL. I like you guys think I'm funny. I have trouble breathing for over a month. Will you send your guides from some relief on their way? Have you popped open that bottle of wine yet? Yes, I did. I had 2 glasses. The rest is in my fridge. I had a social distance front lawn 12 feet away visit with my friend across the street. And I had 2 glasses of wine. And wine gives me insomnia, so then I didn't sleep all night. I'm very worried about my mom as she is in a very good senior residence that just had a couple of people tested positive. Will she be okay? Oh, that's such a bummer, but I can't answer that. Exactly regarded in Sweden, they also have restrictions, yes. Hello, Michelle. What are your thoughts on the COVID pandemic being a way used for us to grow? Oh, the grow spiritually, I answered at the beginning of this video. When do you see really? I don't want to answer that. Sorry. Off the cuff question. When I think I feel Jessica popping in at times, usually to answer things for other people. Sorry. Oh no, it went away. Or advice to do at the farm. Have I been right? Yes. I ran out of questions on both platforms. That never happens. What a lash. I know. 2 whole glasses. Why would you drink red wine when you know it gives you insomnia? I drink white wine, and because I don't really care about insomnia. I've had insomnia my whole life. It doesn't bother me to lay in bed awake. I just rest and meditate and hang out. I wouldn't do it every day, but once every few months doesn't bother me. Will we end up better off with our polluting the earth? Imagine the joy of seeing the glorious Himalayas after 30 years. Yes, we already are much better off, and it will continue to improve. I agree with you, not raising assholes, yes. Are you still not telling us about Kim Jong-un? Yeah, I don't want to tell the world about Kim Jong-un. He can tell, or his people, or whoever can tell the world about him. I don't want to be the crazy psychic that talked about him. What if they hunt me down? Korea's no joke. I really like her and enjoy her, but always wonder why she shows up when she does. Probably because you have horses, Shauna, and Jessica loves animals. So she probably uses any excuse to come to where you are. Okay. I got behind here. I would like to know how soon air travel will resume. My husband works for Air Canada. I'm hope for the sake of all of us, not for a long time. I know it's an entire industry that's being devastated, but I would like 6 months. I don't know that that's going to happen. Gail says September. My son has made the decision to put his sweet Luna down Tuesday night. Do you think he's made the correct choice? Yes, I do, Kathy. Will there be a bunch of new cases in 2 weeks not related to senior homes and in the community? Flip of a coin, yes. However, when ADH is real, what is its hold on the brain? It's almost, when I actually feel true ADHD or ADD, it's kind of like, so when they show me nerves for anything, I see like little electrical impulses. When somebody has ADD or ADHD, they're firing way brighter and way faster. So they're just like, even when I channel people on the other side who had true ADHD, it's the strangest thing. They don't sit still, they're tapping their feet, their minds are going a mile a minute. It's just almost like the brain is on hyperdrive, and those neurons that are usually just kind of doing this are doing this and like throwing stuff at each other. How does alcohol affect your gifts? It makes me say things that I shouldn't. It takes away my filter, which is not good. And my rule of thumb, because usually once a year, maybe occasionally twice a year, still I go out dancing. I love to dance. And so sometimes some girlfriend, if there's a good country band or something, or an 80s band, we'll go out and dance. Probably not even once a year. And my rule of thumb, anytime anywhere like that, is as soon as I start giving psychic advice, it's time for me to go home. That's our rule. And nobody ever actually follows through with it because they think it's hilarious and amazing. And so then they don't make me go home. Earlier I was going to comment that we wouldn't tar and feather you in this lifetime, but North Korea might. Yeah, they might. So I'll just keep my mouth shut on that. Makes you speak in cursive with wine. Keeps her awake. Do you have any healing tips, suggestions for dealing with sensory issues? Healing tips, I don't know. Normally with sensory issues, it's something people have planned into their lives. And so I don't know about completely healing a sensory issue. But they're showing me literally like a weighted blanket, making the world not so loud and bright and overly stimulating. Isolation has probably been amazing for people with sensory issues because it's just quieted their world a little bit. He's getting an extreme makeover. Hi, Armani Ray. Where am I? How are the orcas doing? They're doing good. All animals are doing a lot better. Can you see your children's futures? I choose not to most of the time, just because I don't think it's helpful. I don't tune in. I don't get to know everything about my own future. My gifts don't necessarily work for me. Do spirits ever talk about the weather? No. Health-wise, what do your guides recommend eating to boost the immune system during this time? Fruits and veg anywhere possible. People always ask me about the 5G threat. I don't feel threatened by it at all. My guides don't either. Can you talk more about the cloud you mentioned last week, where parts of our souls live and come down in different dimensions? I give really good explanations on that in my first couple of YouTube videos, like my sort of basic beliefs on things. But what I see is, and I explain it the same all the time, so our higher self is like a rain cloud on the other side. It's a good way to picture it. So it's a rain cloud, and each life we live is a whole in and of itself. So picture it as a raindrop. Each raindrop is a whole in and of itself, but they can come back together to create a new whole. So here's your higher self that stays on the other side all of the time. All these raindrops of lives come down in different dimensions, different time continuums, different everywhere. Go down, live these lives, run together, learn, grow, and then come back up to your higher self and replan another one. I appreciate you so much. Oh, thank you. I've been having a difficult week and been watching you every other day. Oh, thanks. Do you see a rise in mental health issues with kids and teenagers? If they're in stressful home situations and are being forced to stay in them, definitely. Or if they're being allowed to play video games all day, every day, definitely. So if we had planned to die of COVID, why social distance? Because you don't know if you've planned to die from it or not. So why risk it? You know, the whole world didn't plan to die from it, so why risk it? Are oceans improving somewhat? Very slowly, yes. Yes, Vivian Gale is on her way. Oh, Jessica needs to come visit me and my dogs and deer and birds and horses. There you go. Card carrying ADHD. Yeah, and it honestly, for some people, it is 100% an accurate diagnosis, and it looks different. A person with ADHD, their brain looks different than the average person who doesn't have ADHD, and I don't think you could ever imagine actually being in their head if you are not that person. But there are a ton of kids diagnosed with ADHD, ADD, ODD, OCD that really just have behavioral issues due to lack of boundaries. I don't want to be a jerk. Will air travel become a lot more expensive with them having to space out the seats for social distancing? Not in the beginning, no. Cool. I have you on my phone as well as my computer, and on one, your hair is parted on the left, and on the other, your hair is parted on the right. Yeah, I think one of them flips. I've allowed my parents to come visit in the backyard after being in 100% isolation. My kids are little, so as soon as I turn my back, the 6 feet rule is out the door. Now my dad is back golfing. Should I tighten the rules back up? Yes, you should. Russia says it's doing well with this virus outbreak, but there are inside reports and it's completely out of control and the situation is bad. They're not doing well. They have higher numbers, like they're second only to the States, well, and maybe Brazil. The catastrophe unfolding. Will we see a huge surge of infections and death in Russia? Yes, every single day. Oh, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm sun-kissed a little. I actually have like a tan line because I've been walking every day. I wear sunscreen, but it doesn't always matter. Do your guides tell you anything about the killer hornets that are supposed to be coming to kill our honeybees? Yes, they are here, but hopefully, as of yet, I still see them being able to be maintained and under control. Forgot to add chocolate to the list of foods. And chocolate, yes. Oh, something over here. Where is it? Nice to see you. Thanks. Just ran into some guy named East Coast Large who said he is your biggest nemesis. Oh, that's great. West Coast medium, East Coast large. I just got that. That's funny. I have a blue jay's nest by my porch. Haven't seen them in years. Could this be spiritual? Oh, I wish it was, but no. They just like the energy around there. Well, I guess then that's spiritual. I have a friend going crazy with conspiracy theories. Why is she so obsessed? Anxiety? Well, some people just need answers for stuff, and this doesn't have a lot of answers that we like, and so we come up with things that make sense in our minds. Kids that can fully read at 2 or 3, are they remembering another life, or did they plan that into their lives? They planned that into this life. My son taught himself to read. Made the decision to take off from work. Was it a good one? Yes, for you, it was. How would it be best for the children and adults who have ADD, ADHD to relax and find focus? Meditation, yoga, and slower activities can sometimes be experienced as challenging. Yeah, all of those things. Just really trying to calm those excessive bursts of electricity in the brain. Yeah. Is it true that Canadians are a sign? Cardinals, not Canadians, are a sign from our loved ones on the other side. Anything you feel is a sign is a sign. So whatever we equate to being a sign, they will show us. So if we're like, every time I see a dime, I think of my grandpa. Or every time I see a hummingbird, I think of my mom on the other side or my grandma. Then those are your signs. So it's what you think is a sign, they'll continuously show you that. The island hasn't had any new cases in 3 days. Is this actually true? No symptomatic cases. So no, it's not actually true, but it is true for very sick, yes. How is Italy doing? We from the US have not heard much about them lately. We heard about them a lot at first. It's because they peaked and are on the slow downward, getting a tiny, tiny bit better. Sign, sign, everywhere a sign. Da, da, na, 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 na. That's Jessica. Do this, don't do that. Can't you realize? Oh my gosh. What do you think about expanding bubbles by one household when public health measures allow? It's a good way to start, I guess. As long as they're both social distancing outside of that. Okay, wait, over here. On previous videos, you mentioned asking our own guides questions. Do we have to say things out loud? I really want to know my guides' names. No, you don't have to talk out loud, but sometimes people prefer to talk out loud. Do you have any opinion? I need glasses. Holy, on angel numbers as signs. Is that like 111, 222, all that sort of stuff? Yes, your guides will show you repetitive numbers when you are usually like, either when you're having a hard time and they're letting you know everything's okay, or when you are feeling like you're needing some encouragement. Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I'm not channeling loved ones on this video. Totally off topic. What does cannabis use do to your vibrational level? Are the stoners really as enlightened as they think? No, they think they're enlightened. For me, not that I have tried it, since accepting my gifts, I haven't, so I guess I don't totally know. But for me personally, any substance, mind-altering substance, completely shuts off my gifts. Alcohol for a bit, I think, turns them on. It's only because you get like a heightened sense of your own ego. So it probably doesn't actually. But I have had a couple of surgeries. I've had a tooth removed where I had to take painkillers that were stronger than Tylenol and Advil, and it completely shut my gifts off. And so cannabis does the same thing. I haven't seen my grandchildren. Is it okay or should I wait longer? It's totally up to you, Susan. I don't want to be in charge of that. What? Oh, I can't see. Any insight into out-of-body states? Are you talking about like out-of-body experiences, specifically manifesting blue rings and their significance? I have never done that. I'm not sure what that means. Is Gail gonna answer that? She's saying whoever is seeing that is just seeing energy being around them. Okay, I gotta go back over here for a minute. The trauma in our past lives affect us in this life? Normally, no. That's something people say to take your money, usually. Oh, let me do past life regression and we're going to fix everything and you're going to be this new person. No, that's not true. Our lives are all happening at the same time because time and space don't exist. So you're living lives right now in the 1600s, in the 2500s, in the 1100s, and in 1999. They don't necessarily affect each other in a negative way. Occasionally, if this raindrop of yours, the life you had just planned or whatever, drowned or something like that, you might come into this life not liking water that much or not being able to swim super well. But as far as like it affecting, and if you heal that life, this life's going to get better. It's just mind over matter. It's power of thinking. It's power of thought. If you feel you have conquered something and now that will no longer be a problem for you, you feel you have control over it, you will believe that that is true. Do we have animal guides? No, but we have animal support on the other side. With the cleaning of the environment due to less pollution from COVID, do you see a warmer, drier summer or a wetter summer as a farmer? Curious to see how this may benefit us with environmental conditions in the future. I do feel like the fire season is going to be a little less. So I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit calmer, not as hot. You're welcome, Amy. What do your guides say about animal guides, or how do we find out what animal is our guide? I don't see animal guides. I see our animals on the other side still walking with us and coming back to us over and over again, but I don't see that they are guiding us. Do we all have our own guides? Yes, we do. How would you suggest we meet and connect with our guides? You just sit down and chat with them. Are you still doing the $25 questions? Yes, I am. You have excellent boundaries. Thank you. I work hard at the boundaries. It wasn't always easy. I used to feel very guilty about them. I feel like they are opening too soon. Yes, I agree, Kristen. And yes, I do see more cases in the future. My daughter's family has lived with me for a year now, which has been wonderful during this time. Can you see when they will be able to strike out on their own again? It'll be a bit yet. Hey, hi, sister. My son and I have 2 birthmarks in the exact same places. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidence. So no. Where's the birthmark? Is it somewhere fun, like the V in the middle of my forehead? It's a sign of a witch. Same with my gray streak. Same with my blood type and my left-handedness. All signs of a witch. Guess I'm a witch. Okay, over here. I chose my username at least 10 years ago. Who knew it would be similar to yours? West Coast BCJ. Hey. When Tupac said the West Coast is the best coast, was he right? Yes, he was. Oh, Hang on. The rings become portals to other places or as doorways for conscious entities. Okay, I've never done that. I like to just stay right on in this dimension most of the time. I don't do astral travel. I don't do trance channeling. I'm more human than some people like me, I guess. Ah, all of a sudden there's lots of questions. When you see animals during readings, do they give you messages or just show themselves as being with us? They give me messages. They can communicate just like everybody else. The song Witchy Woman. Your hair looks fine. Thanks. Does possession, like in the Exorcist movies, actually happen? No. Mental illness happens, though. Oh, any advice from Peter? He is here today. I don't know if he's going to step forward and talk. You're welcome, Ange. Yes, look at the pinned post on my Facebook feed for instructions for the $25 questions. What is the blood type of a witch? A negative, but I'm AB negative, RH negative, so it's the RH negative too, I think. Arrington seems to have many witches. What do random chills mean? Can it be spirits around or spirit guides? Yes, it can occasionally be spirit kind of walking a little too close to you, or sometimes it could just be that you got the chills because you're cold. My spirit animal's an armadillo. I feel like my spirit animal should be like a, I don't even know. What's a really weird looking one? You're welcome, Maureen. I'm out of questions on both again. I guess it means it's just about time to go. Linda, I think you would need a full reading for me to answer that. Mine would be a sloth. You know what? My isolation spirit animal would probably be a sloth because I have little to no motivation most days. It really takes a lot of effort for me to want to do anything. I'm very good at sitting on the couch. Thanks, Lori. You're A negative too. You've referred to Peter's real name as like Ra or something similar. Is it the Ra that the Egyptians worshipped? Yes. Also Ka. It's a higher collective consciousness. It's so weird. I see him as the color green. It's a higher level collective consciousness that doesn't just sort of oversee humanity. He has an interest in humanity because of how we work as a system, but he oversees, he checks in with many other dimensions, not just sort of this earth plane. You're welcome. What does it mean when your whole body jolts when falling asleep? It's actually just a level of consciousness where you're not breathing, and your body does that to make you breathe. Oh yeah, we have the same blood type. Look at us go. Brooke, are you energetically connected? Oh, I think you actually are. Oh. You're welcome, Lindsay. What's wow, Danielle? The other day I was thinking that maybe I got the lazy guides. I never sensed them. I haven't seen a sign from them for 2 years. Now my electronics are going on and off and a bird let me hold it for about 4 minutes. Guides, loved ones, or coincidence? No coincidence exist. So it would be loved ones and guides, but mostly guides right now for you. I'd love a whole video on this. So amazing. On which part? I don't even remember what I was talking about. Is the island going to keep exploding in population? Yes. Does your favorite color mean anything? Unless it's black, no. Oh, you had to put your cat down 2 days ago. He was 17. My sweet Molly just turned 16 3 days ago. I feel for you. It sucks. Can you see aura color when we comment on here? I don't focus on aura color just because I don't need it, because I can see everything about a person when I look at them, from their history, their memories, their thoughts, their feelings, what they think of me, if they're lying to me, if they're scared of me. So I don't need to necessarily see an aura. What does it mean when you are O negative blood type? It means you should donate blood. Or is that O positive? I'm AB negative, RH negative, super rare blood type, and it used to be a sign of a witch. What can we do to help change the lack of motivation right now? Better vibrations, or do we just wait for the energy shift? Wait for the energy shift. I'm enjoying the lack of motivation and the slower pace. Oh, raw as well. Oh, okay, good. Serendipity, does it exist? Is that like things happen because they're supposed to happen? Yes. And I was joking about the black, Leah. Are there alien bases on the moon? No. Do we get to pick our name on the other side before we get here? Yes. The weirdest things happen when I try to use my computer at work. Am I just a technology challenged or something to do with energy? I wish I could say it was energy, but you're just technologically challenged. Okay. Hang on, I missed a lot. What about your previous post for the $25 question? Should I be commenting on the new one? I think that I went through the old one. My son's highly sensitive. We explain it as if he feels everything harder than most. How can I help him? My kids both are, but my son's more so. So I actually do a lot of cleansing and protecting for him, but I also have taught him how to do that himself so he can feel in control of what he feels. Been going back and watching your old YouTube videos. Highly recommend Amber 101 to everyone. So good. Thanks for all your guidance. Yeah, my old ones, I really went into like basics of what I believe in, how I got to where I am. I did them for the first like 6 months on YouTube, and then it just became too much to upload them and stuff, and it was just sort of a pain. But they do have, it's like general Q&As, FAQs, and a few things that I believe have changed a little since then, or evolved, if you want to say. I also have changed and accepted, I accepted my gifts in stages. The mediumship was first, the psychic abilities were next. And the empathic part, I didn't totally understand it, but it just sort of came all along. And then the medical intuition, and then the healing. It's pretty crazy. People used to murder witches for learning about herbs and so on. Yeah, they did. I can see your comments, Miranda. Did you do other ones? That's the first one I've seen. Do you take interest in all of the other dimensional stuff, or just prefer to keep your focus here? No, I don't. I like, just because I feel drawn to certain generations, I do take interest in that. As far as other planets and that sort of stuff, I don't really focus on that much, but I do like past, present, and future dimensions to do with humans here. I really enjoy that sort of stuff. Okay, what? Oh no. O negative can donate to all blood types. So yeah, Jessica was right. When you're O negative, it means you should donate blood. I wasn't sure if she was right. Do I have a technology curse? I don't know if you do, I do too. Does the moon affect us or you? It does not really affect me, but it does affect humans in general. If we choose our name, what happens if we change it as an adult? We don't own names on the other side like we do here. They're not as important to us. Energy is. Can you talk a little louder? Hard to hear you. I don't know if I can. This is my voice. I feel I have lots of spirit around me. Oh, Alyssa, if you go over to YouTube, apparently the quality of the audio, that's it, not vocal, audio is better. How can I tell how many there are? Sometimes I feel my room is full. I don't know that you necessarily have to tell how many there are, April. Just say hi, and if they're bothering you, ask them to leave. The old videos are very comforting. Oh, thanks. All right, I've been on here over an hour, and my kids are downstairs, and we're starting research projects today as a little side to school because they need a little bit of a challenge. So we have to get going on that. But everybody, please take a moment, appreciate the fact that you all have the ability, even just to be on here and watching, have the freedom to do what you want to do each day. Send out a prayer for those that are suffering and in pain right now, because let me tell you, there is a lot of that everywhere right now. And I appreciate all of you. I'm grateful that you are taking time out of your day to come and sit, to have a chat. This is some of the only adult conversation I get in my day, so I'm very appreciative of that. And if you have topic suggestions for future videos, if we're kind of ready to move a little bit from the COVID updates, I'm totally open to going in depth more about some of those personality things or some of the other areas of spiritual growth or enlightenment that you're interested in. So comment below with that. Head over to my YouTube, subscribe. I think that's what it is. Turn on notifications by clicking the bell, because I do think it's going to be a better option for getting those notifications, and I won't do this back and forth forever. So I'm in a transitional period right now, but I do plan to move the live videos over to YouTube as it's more user friendly, and because it's hard to do this constantly. So everybody take care. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Uh-oh, I don't know how to end this one.